Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So first of all, I offer pranams to our Gurudev, Vishnupada Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, our Guru Varga, all devotees. Thank you for coming. Thank you for surviving. So, we were hearing last night about, yesterday evening, the idea of anugatya, because Saki bine lila anya nahi gati, Saki bhav he thar kore anugati, Radha Krishna kunja seva sadhya se pai, se sadhya paite a nahi ko ke pai. If you want the service of Radha Krishna, who has the service of Radha Krishna? That is the Sakis. Without their grace, without their help, no one can serve Krishna. Lorenzo, right? Okay. So, you missed everything yesterday. So, I don't want to go back there. Well, shall we go there, Mara?
Yeah. Why not?
If we want to serve Krishna, we have to go to someone who has that service. Understand that? You want the translation?
Please.
Oh, there's translation back there. Call her. Grandma knows English? Not really. See, más o menos. Okay. So even the other gopis, they are liberated souls, but they also take the anugati of Radharani. They take the guidance of Radharani. They never wish to be with Krishna separately. They are happy when they assist Radharani to meet with Krishna. Krishna saha radhika lila ye karai nijasuk hoite kote sukhe. When the gopis see Radha and Krishna together, they feel a happiness millions of times more than meeting with Krishna directly. Like Rupa Manjari. She is the maid servant of Radharani. One day Rupa Manjari was making a garland for Krishna. Then she gave that garland to Radharani. But Radharani said to Rupa Manjari, no, you put the garland on Krishna. Again and again Radharani said, you put the garland on Krishna. Then Rupa Manjari began to cry. Radharani, when we see you put the garland on Krishna, we feel a happiness millions of times more than if I give Krishna directly. Because Radharani is the perfect servant of Krishna. So why should I go in competition? Better assist Radharani in her service to Krishna. That will give the topmost happiness to him. So, Radha Sarup Krishna Prema Kalpalata Sakigan Hoi Tar Pushpa Patra. That is the secret of Radharani's body, Radharani's Sarup. We heard yesterday the other gopis, they are all Radharani's expansions. To please Krishna, Radharani expands herself into millions of forms of the other gopis. So Radharani is like the Kripa. Understand Kripa? Plant.
One that
Seedling.
Not planet, plant. Vine. Kripa. So all the other gopis are like twigs, flowers, leaves on that Kripa. So when the vine gets water, gets happiness, all the flowers and leaves also feel happiness. No? So when Radharani is happy, all the other gopis also feel so much ecstasy. So therefore, if we do not think, I will serve under the guidance of Radharani, okay, Chitananda, everything good there? Bienvenidos a la festival. No, please don't. Yesterday's khichdi was. You've been banned by request from Dharamama. Huh?
We now serve the breakfast.
Yes, you renounced all normal khichdi. Okay. So, what were we saying before we were khichdi? Huh? Right. So Radharani is the source. Ah, that's right. Without the idea of serving Radharani, without the idea of assisting Radharani, one cannot get any place in Vrindavan. Therefore, Lakshmi, she is in Vaikuntha. She is the wife of Lord Narayana. But when she saw Krishna's sweetness, she developed a greed, a desire. I will also serve Krishna. But she wanted to do independently. So she went to Vrindavan. One forest is there, Bailvan, some called Lakshmi Van, and she is doing austerities there to get the service of Krishna. After a long time, Krishna came before her. What do you want? I want to serve you. Krishna said there's some conditions. What conditions? Number one, you'll have to take birth as a gopi. Like Krishna is called from the Gop community. Gop Nandan. Gopa means Gopalan, who protects the cows. That is called Gopa. And the females are called gopis. So Krishna said you'll have to take birth in the gopi family. You'll have to come from the womb of a gopi. Then from birth you'll feel, this is my home, these are my parents, this is my community. That feeling will be there. Then Lakshmi was not too much keen on that idea because she's the queen of Vaikuntha. I have to come again in the womb? Okay, she would thought, can be. Then Krishna gave some conditions she could not fulfill. Right? You'll have to give up your husband, Lord Narayan, and marry some gop. Then sneak away secretly to meet me. Then for that Lakshmi was, come on. These coward men not taking bath, especially in winter time. How cold is Vrindavan in winter? So no guarantee they're taking bath every day, deodorant, all that stuff. So this idea was too much. Why I give up my husband, Lord Narayan, to marry some villager? And finally the idea of coming under the guidance of Radharani, becoming the servant of Radharani. I'm the queen of Vaikuntha, why should I serve anyone else? So for these reasons, even now she is doing austerities but could not get that service. Even there was one devotee called Mirabai. She is quite famous, Mirabai. But even she refused to become under the guidance of Radharani. She wanted to attain Krishna directly. Therefore she could not get any place in Vrindavan. Why? Because Radharani, it said, Radha Anugatya Bina Aishwarya Gam Na Pai Braja Bhajanananda. Those who do not come under the guidance of Radharani, they cannot taste Krishna's sweetness. A bit like without a straw, bad example, without a straw you cannot drink a coconut. There's a process to drink. So if one does not come under the guidance of Radharani, cannot taste Krishna's sweetness, rather one becomes absorbed in Krishna's opulence. Krishna has so much power, so many possessions, so much wealth. All mystic powers are his servants. Right? We're hearing 2 days ago. Krishna manifests millions of universes, millions of Vaikunthas. He's the source of all incarnations. He's the presiding Lord of all potencies. He's the enjoyer of everything. How much he has. You have so much power, so much opulence. If one tries to approach Krishna directly, he will just be absorbed in those things and cannot taste the sweetness of Krishna. So Maharaj uses the words filter. Radharani is like a filter. If you want to drink Krishna's, the sweetness of Krishna, you can only do it so through the filter of Radharani. So anyway, again and again we're hearing this thing. So who wrote this verse? Govinda Lilamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj. He also writing this book, Chaitanya Charitamrita. All the gopis are equal to Radharani. Means Radharani is so generous, she gives her beauty, her quality, she gives to everyone. But still they're not really equal to her. They're not completely equal to her. Don't worry, Omkar, that is a pleasant disturbance. That is not an unhappy disturbance. Means Krishna makes the devotee same as him. Unless you're the same as Krishna, you cannot serve him. There's a saying in India, Deva Devam Samachara. Unless you're a demigod, like a demigod, you cannot serve the demigods. Means if you're eating chicken and drinking beer and smoking cigarettes, how can you serve the demigods who are in the higher planets? Not possible. To serve Krishna, you have to be the same as him. Transcendental. So actually, Diksha is the process by which Guru makes us the same as Krishna. For example, if you speak Chinese and I know English, we can't have a friendship, can't have a relationship. There has to be some commonality there. So if I have a body of stool and urine, how can I serve Krishna? Krishna is Satchidananda. If I'm caught in birth and death, how can I serve Krishna who's beyond birth and death? So one has to become the same as Krishna. One is still servant, but he becomes by qualities equal to Krishna. And Diksha is that process. Initiation is that process. Diksha kale bhakta kale atma samapan se kale bhakta kore atma sam. At the same time of Diksha, when one fully surrenders, Guru makes you the same as Krishna. Understand? He gives you the qualification to serve Krishna. That qualification is called Diksha. So if one is fully surrendered, in 1 second you can reach that platform. Many examples are given, like iron in fire. If you put iron in fire, iron becomes same as fire. It burns like fire. So Diksha is that process. One becomes absorbed in Krishna. Absorbed in Krishna's service. Especially if you follow the Brijabasis, one can become same like Brijabasis. Rupa Goswami gives an example like bell metal. You know bell metal?
Balma.
Yeah.
In the Middle Ages, they believed that by alchemy, alchemy, this become gold. Actually, before, yogis would drink mercury, pure mercury, and then they'd pass urine on the bronze, it would become gold. Do not try this process at home. That means yoga is so powerful they can digest even mercury. This is called alchemy, magic process. Right? In the Middle Ages, people trying to discover alchemy. So alchemy or Diksha is the process by which an ordinary person becomes a servant of Krishna. how bell metal becomes gold. Kanchana rasa vidadata, Rupa Goswami says. So Diksha is the process. Divya Jnanam Tato Papkurya Papasa Samskar. Diksha is two things. Diksha, D means Divya Jnana, transcendental knowledge. What is my eternal relation with Krishna? That is the perfect knowledge. So at the time of Diksha, Gurudev said Diksha is a process. Right? When we take initiation, that means process is starting. So Divya Jnana, at the time of initiation, Gurudev gives knowledge. What is your relation with Krishna? Actually, one already has that knowledge because soul is there, but Gurudev reveals it. In that sense, he gives. And Kurya Papasa Samskar. And Gurudev takes something. By bhajan, all one's sins, one's ignorance, one's faults, all is destroyed. So something given, something taken. Good thing given, bad thing taken. So, in that way the disciple becomes same as Guru, in that way the disciple becomes same as Krishna. Still you are servant, that is never changed. You are servant of Gurudev, servant of Krishna. But one reaches that level. That process may take 1 second. Like when Lord Chaitanya took initiation. His Gurudev gave him Gopal mantra. As soon as Lord Chaitanya chanted the syllables of Gopal mantra, he saw Krishna before him. As soon as he chanted the syllables, syllables became Krishna. Because your mantra so Guru Swayam, ya Guru sa Swayam Hari. Mantra is the same as Krishna. Krishna and mantra is not two. Krishna and mantra is one thing. Mantra is sound incarnation of Krishna. Sabdavatar. Mantra is Krishna in the form of sound. So your mantra so Guru Swayam. The mantra given by Guru is not different from the Guru. That's why if you offend Guru, you cannot chant the mantra. Many people stop chanting mantra. Why? They're making offense. The mantra not manifest to them anymore because they disrespect the person who gave the mantra. When Gurudev gives initiation, he gives some do this, do this. You not follow his offense, right? Then you cannot chant. Right? There was one guy, actually Rahul, we were talking about him this morning. Don't say his name. He came back to Gurudev, he disappeared. He went in the Bermuda Triangle for a few years. Then he came back and he was crying, I cannot chant, I cannot remember, I cannot think, I cannot do Harinam, I cannot remember the mantras, I cannot read any scripture. And Gurudev said, yes, because all that power came from me. And when you left me, you lost that power. So don't become proud. I am doing bhajan, I am doing devotion. No. Guru gives that power. Maharaj says, Guru gives devotion and Guru can take it away again also. If you don't behave properly. He can give and can take also. No, it's all right. So, alright. Anyway, so this is the process one becomes qualified for service to Krishna. Without Diksha, without initiation, it's quite impossible. Like a woman without husband cannot give birth to a child, without proper guru, without proper guidance, without proper following, cannot have devotion. So all Radharani, by surrendering to Radharani, Radharani gives them a position like hers. So much generous. By surrendering to Radharani, by surrendering to Gurudev, by surrendering to Krishna, Krishna gives everything. Krishna brings you up to his level. Even more than his level. In this world you serve someone, you get a job. How much they give you? The minimum. 100 peso an hour, whatever. That much less they can give you, they give you the minimum, right? If you serve anyone in this world. Minimum wage, right? Purushottam. Right? How much you get for your job? The boss gives you the less as possible. If you serve someone in this world, they give you minimum. But Krishna is not like that, right? The boss has $1 million and gives you $12 an hour. But Krishna is not like that. If you serve Krishna, Krishna gives you everything he has and even more than that. Asa Kripa, like we're praying, no? There's one song. Singer Grief sings Nas. Si Radha Krishna Padakamale Mana. Like this. So the devotee prays, Siddha Deya Deya, oh Krishna, give me a spiritual form, just like yours. So Krishna is so kind, Radharani is so kind, they give a form just like theirs, a position just like theirs. But still we won't surrender. We are so much idiots. We think surrender to Krishna, a very terrible thing. No. What a horrible thing. This is so unattractive. You should know by surrender what you get. You lose nothing. By surrender, what you lose? Just some bad things like false ego. No one loses anything by surrender. You only lose some bad things. Like someone asked to Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, what do I have to give up to join the Hare Krishna movement? And he gave a great answer. The only thing you have to give up is suffering. We are so stupid. We think surrender means I lose, I suffer. Never. Surrender means you gain everything. You gain everything. You gain everything. All good things. What you cannot even imagine, you get that. And what else can the jiva, what else can the soul do but surrender? What else we have? Nothing. Okay, Narayan, so we can make a new t-shirt. Surrender means gain. We are very foolish. We think surrender means loss. Huh? Talking to yourself.
I said surrender means freedom. Like this.
Surrender means freedom.
About a t-shirt.
Slavery is freedom. I like that. Yes, I'm gonna make you wear it. I'm gonna make you wear it.
Alright, I'll get a tattoo if you can't find it.
On the forehead. Yes. Divine slavery. Because really, we were talking last night, the soul can really never be independent. This is one illusion. Independent? Sky, are you independent? What independence we have? Did I choose this great body? No one chose this body. No one chose their parents. No one chooses old age. No one. We are forced to accept all these things. But still we think I am independent. What independent? You are forced to act according to the dictates of the mind, of the senses. And saying, like a mental person in a hospital with a straitjacket, I'm free. What freedom we have, what independence really we have. So, anyway, don't want to disturb Narayan again, so we'll change topics. So by surrender to Krishna, Krishna gives you what you cannot imagine. So high thing. And all he asks is surrender. Sarva Dharma. Just give up everything, surrender to him. There is, Gogman said, people cannot understand what a blessing Krishna gives when he speaks this verse in Bhagavad Gita. Just give up everything, surrender to me, I take care. One may think, if I surrender to Krishna, there may be a fault. What about my relatives? We have so many debts. We're indebted to our parents who give this body. We're indebted to the forefathers. We're indebted to their parents, their parents, their parents. This is one line of debt. I'm indebted to the forefathers. Like Chinese, always worship forefather. Always grateful to forefather. They have that idea. India also. Always grateful to forefather. Cannot repay debt to forefather. So we're indebted to our parents, forefathers. These trees which give fruit and air, right? Cows which give milk. What are devas? The demigods which give sunlight, which give water. Demigods give air. Demigods give many things. Deva, Rishi, Bhut, other living entities, friends, relatives. So Deva, Rishi, Bhutaptam, Vinicharajam, Sarvatmayaha, Saranam, Saranam. We are indebted to so many things. The earth, the demigods, the forefathers, the parents. How you pay, this is the cycle, the bondage of karma. You have to pay them back by taking birth again and again. So Krishna gives a solution. Just surrender to me and you'll be free from all debt. That is the blessing Krishna gives. No more debt to anyone. Only come to me. No one else in the creation. This is the definition of devotion. But we are thinking, what about him? What about him? What about this? What about that? I should also give something to them. No, the Shraddha Sabda Biswas Kohe Student in his joy. Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarva Kam Krita Hoy. I just have to please Krishna. I have not to please anyone else in the whole creation. This determination is called faith. Just like if you water a tree, Brat, Batos. If you put water on a tree, where do you put the water? On the root. No need to water each tree, leaf, twig, flower. By satisfying the root, the whole tree is happy. Who is the root of all creation, Lorinda? No talker. Who is the root of all creation?
Krishna.
Right. So why don't serve the creation? There's no need. Just serve the Creator. This feeling is called faith. Anyway. So Radharani, all her friends are the same as her. She gives her beauty, her qualities, she gives like that to her friends. And Krishna is pleasing to all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, like the moon is pleasing to the lotus. She is known as Ladini, the potency which gives happiness to Krishna. She is compared to a kripa, a vine. And all the other gopis are considered like leaves, twigs, flowers on the vine. When the nectar of Krishna's service is sprinkled on Radharani, everyone else gets happiness. In some places it said they experience a happiness thousands of times, even more than Radharani. Some places described like this. Yadyapi Sakir Krishna Sangama Nahiman Tatapi Radhika Yatna Korire Sangam. So, even though the gopis do not desire to meet with Krishna, Radharani still, by force and other tricks, she arranges their meeting with Krishna. Anyway, these are very high things, and we are not so high. So these all affairs, like Right Sky was asking the other day, if Krishna has so many girlfriends, why can't I? So here's a little more answer to that. Even though all these affairs between Krishna and Radha and the Gopi looks like this world, boy and girl, some similarity may be there, but actually they are completely opposite. Why? Because the gopis have no desire to enjoy Krishna. Never. They only want Krishna's happiness. But in this world, any girl is with a boy, why? For her enjoyment. For her enjoyment. Any boy is with a girl because he wants to enjoy. One time, one newly married couple came into Gurudev's room. And I remember they looked like, I don't know, Romeo and Juliet, some perfect couple. Perfect. I mean, the guy was so handsome and, everything nice. And the girl was beautiful as well, so young. And they came for blessing. And you could see they were so much in love. And Gurudev said the most amazing thing. She said to the woman, maybe she was proud of her beauty, I don't know. He said, if you were burnt in a fire, you think he would stay with you? You know, sometimes it happens, you know, cooking and some oil goes on the face, or the stove explodes, or the pressure cooker explodes. And the woman becomes horribly burnt. And Gurudev said to her, if you became burnt, do you think he would stay with you? And she looked at him, and he, at that moment, he was like, you could see, no. And she saw that. I remember. You could see the guy's face automatically, no way. And that time she looked at him, and she saw that, no way. And then there was tension. But what an amazing thing to say. This so-called love, this is not love, this is just exploitation. In this world, as long as someone gives something to you, then you're friends, relatives, right? Wife. But as soon as that person stops fulfilling your desires, you can stop enjoying that person, the relation is broken. Radhika shakes her head, yes. Some good experience you had? So Sky, that's the difference between man and woman in this world and Radha Krishna. The main difference is there's no lust here. The gopis have no lust. They only want to please Krishna. Right? So Nidendra Sukha Hetu Kamera Tatpaja Krishna Sukh Tatpaja Gopi Bhava Vaja Nidendra Sukhavancha Tar Balikam Krishnendra Sukhavancha Tar Premanam. These two verses. When one is only concerned with one's own pleasure, that is called lust. When one is concerned with pleasing the senses of Krishna, it's called prema. Two different. In this world, a woman decorates her lipstick and eyeliner and nice dress. And why? She wants to enjoy her body. But the gopis decorate their body only with the thought, Krishna sees me, Krishna will be happy. No, Nijendra Sukhavancha Nahi Gopika Krishna Sukh Dite Kore Sangam Vihar. The gopis have no one pinch of lust in them. Their only desire is to give happiness to Krishna. The desire to give happiness to Krishna is the only reason they meet with him. There is no other desire. Okay, understand, Sky? If you see a nice girl, do you think, I could make her happy? I could please her. So, me. So iron and gold may look the same, but completely different. So the affairs of Radha Krishna may look like the affairs of woman and man in this world, but actually they're completely opposite. So problem comes when we don't hear properly, and we think Krishna is doing, I will also do. That will be false, that will be imitation. And that will cause your destruction. Like see in the Olympics some guy lifting 500 kilos or something. And I can lift 20 kilos, why should I lift 500? I will be killed. So don't imitate. One should act according to one's qualifications. So, anyway, here's some very high things Ramananda Roy is saying. We just leave that here. So, one who has love for Krishna gives up all other religion. Doesn't care for anything. One who has love for Krishna gives up all shame, all pride, all regulative principles even of the Vedas. They give up everything to please him. Instead of caring about the opinions of others, or even what is religion or what is irreligion, the devotee gives all that up just to please Krishna. Raganug Matar Bajaye Jan Se Jan Pai Braja Brajananandan. So this is the path of spontaneous attraction. One not cares anything, this is good or bad. One just serves Krishna. One who serves Krishna like that, that is called Raganuga Bhajan. They can attain Vrindavan. If devotee have to perform millions of sins to satisfy Krishna, devotee is ready. Okay. Devotee gives up even morality to satisfy Krishna. Okay. We can tell that horrible story about Asvatama. You want to hear it again? Swanalata? The dead elephant? Devotee gives up everything for Krishna's pleasure. If one has attachment to anything else apart from the idea of serving Krishna, he cannot serve him perfectly. So there's a nice story, Lorenzo. There was a devotee called Yudhisthira Maharaj. He was king. So honest. So honest. People called him Dharmaraj, the king of religion. Even his enemies all respected him like anything. He never lied for anything. Always spoke the truth. Very dear devotee of Krishna. So the problem was, in the Mahabharata war, Krishna's side were fighting, but on the other side, the main fighter on the other side, his name was Dronacharya. Dronacharya. Great. He was also a devotee of Krishna, but somehow he ended up on the other side. Because Krishna wanted to remove all the demons from this world. So that's why somehow he inspired Dronacharya to fight on the other side. Otherwise the demons would not come together to fight against the Pandavas. Anyway. Dronacharya was so powerful. How to kill him? Practically speaking, it was impossible to kill him normally. Because he knew all the weapons, he knew all the mantras. No one could kill him actually. So there's only one way he would stop fighting. That was because of his son. Actually, Dronacharya was a Brahmin. He had no interest in business or making money or fighting. But he had one son. The son's name was Asvatthama. And one day Asvatthama was there and he came home from school crying. Because he was so poor. Dronacharya was so poor, he could not even afford milk for his son. So the other boys were teasing. Asvatthama never drank milk. What a weakling. What a loser. So Asvatthama came home crying. Father, I want some milk. What is milk? All other boys are drinking milk. I get no milk. Dronacharya was so poor, he had no milk. His son was crying. What he did, he took some flour. Harina. What do you call flour? He mixed with water. Ching, 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 ching. And his son drank. It's not milk. This is cheating. How to stop his son crying? So he did like that. Then Asvatthama was going, yes, look at my muscles. I also drank milk. I also drank milk. Imagine how the father felt. I'm so poor, I have to cheat my own son like this. I should get a job. So, Brahmin should not work for others. We were talking the other day. That's why he was so poor. But to get some money for his son, he got a job as a fighter. He knew all the weapons. That's how he became general on the other side, just because of his son, no other reason. Krishna knew that secret. So in the middle of the fight, Krishna shouted, Dronacharya, why are you fighting? Your son is dead. Su hijo es muerto. Your son is dead. So Dronacharya becomes stunned. My son is dead? What am I doing then? No need to fight. Then he thought, hang on, no one can kill my son. And especially Krishna was very tricky. Maybe Krishna was not telling the truth. Because Krishna can do anything for his devotee. Like we hear. Devotee can give up all religion for Krishna. Krishna also can give up all religion for devotees' happiness. Krishna not controlled by good or bad or any rules because he's God. So he can also give up everything, no problem, no fault for him. So Dronacharya knew Krishna can do anything for his devotee. He loves them so much. Krishna can also lie. Possible. So he thought maybe Krishna is not telling the truth. So he not stopped fighting. But he was unsure. Maybe, maybe not. So Dronacharya called to Yudhisthira. And Yudhisthira never lied, whole life. So Drona says, Yudhisthira, oh Yudhisthira, tell me the truth. Is it true my son Asvatthama is dead? Then Krishna was looking at Yudhisthira. Tell him his son is dead. You tell him. I order you, tell him his son is dead. Son was not dead. You tell him. But Yudhisthira hesitated. How can I lie? I never lied whole life. Again and again Krishna was SMS. But Yudhisthira would not do it. He would not lie. So his chariot fell 6 inches on the ground. Anyway, so don't say that. So then another brother called Bhim, he was watching this. Krishna was telling him to lie, but Yudhisthira will not lie. That time Bhim killed another elephant. He had a big club. Sin sound effect report. So that club was covered in brains of the elephant blood. So Bhim held up his club covered in brains and blood. I have killed Asvatthama. I have killed Asvatthama, the elephant. But he didn't say elephant. I have killed Asvatthama. That time Yudhisthira under pressure from Krishna. Also he wanted to win, you know. So he said, yes, Dronacharya, it is true. Asvatthama, the elephant, has been killed. When Yudhisthira said, you know, at that time Krishna blew his conch shell. So what did Dronacharya hear? Yes, it's true. Asvatthama has been killed. The elephant bit he could not hear. So he gave up fighting. Must be true. Your conch shell sounded like a trumpet. So he gave up fighting. He gave up his weapons, sat in meditation, fixed his mind on Krishna, because he had no more interest in his wealth. Gave up. And his head was cut off. That time Yudhisthira's chariot came on the ground, 6 inches lower. Before his chariot was always 6 inches above the ground, like a demigod. Many people think, he lied, he fell from religion. But devotees have a different vision. No, what is religion? Lorenzo, what is religion? To please God, to please Krishna. There is no higher religion than that. That is the supreme religion. Savai Pum Sam Parodharma Yatira Bhakti Adoksya. The highest form of religiosity is to satisfy Krishna. So when Krishna told him to lie, tell him, Yudhisthira did not do it. He thought truth is higher than pleasing Krishna. Telling the truth. Understand? Comprehend it. That's why he said he fell from religion. Because he thought something else was more important than pleasing Krishna. Even like we are ordinary persons, right? We go home, now is Christmas coming. Right? Family's there. Grandmother's made the chicken. Grandmother's old. Spending her last peso on the chicken. The vino, the wine. All family is there. Have some chicken, have some wine. It's Christmas. What will you do, Scott? Grandmother's there. Don't you love me, Scott? Parents are saying, don't disrespect your grandmother. This is Jesus Christo's birthday. Jesus Christo. Jesus. You are Mexican. This is your culture. Drink and fight. Many pressures coming. Family, friends. Some cultural thing is there. We've all been there. Right, Swanalada? How is it? All relatives, all family, all they're getting drunk, eating the chicken. What will you do? What is the correct thing to do? Displease parents? Displease relatives? Disrespect Jesus? I don't know, Jesus drank fried chicken, I doubt it. I doubt that as well. What is correct? What is the best thing to do? What to do and what not to do? Well, we should have determined, no, to satisfy Krishna is 1,000 times more important than satisfying all these other persons. Anyway, so who can give up all other religion or everything, give up to satisfy Krishna, this is called Raga Marg. Yes, sir.
How can I follow a God that is not always truthful?
Don't worry. Whatever Krishna does, that is perfect. That is truth. You have to believe like that.
Beyond.
Huh?
It's not like beyond this.
Krishna is
perception.
beyond all these rules, good and bad. That is here. That is not there. What is good and bad for Krishna? Who makes the rules? Krishna is not controlled by any rules or regulations. He's independent. Right? Speed limit is 60 kilometers an hour. Okay? If Vladimir Putin drives 100 miles an hour, who's going to give him a ticket? There are ordinary rules for the ordinary persons. But the superior class of person, these rules not touch them. Well, if Krishna lies, will you give him up? That means you think something's more important than pleasing him. So what is real religion? Very hard to understand. Even Krishna has millions of faults, devotees never give him up. They have so much affection for him. Anyway, this is a PhD study. If Krishna lies to you, will you give him up? If you do, that means no love. Your love has some condition. Weak. If Krishna lied to the devotee become very happy. Krishna's behavior not affect their love. Their love is pure. Understand? Yes. What?
¿Cómo yo sé que no hay algo superior aquí? Es ejercicio la verdad última.
Krishna cheats and lies. How can I understand that there should have something superior, like a superior absolute truth?
What is superior to Krishna? Okay, there's two ways of looking at Krishna. One is by lila, one is by philosophical truth. Did Asvatthama really die? The soul never dies. So Krishna not lie. Soul never dies, right? Soul's eternal. So philosophically, Krishna never lied. Because no soul dies. No soul is killed. No soul is born. No soul is died. I'm not trying to be Krishna's lawyer, but what?
It's also good to point out that everything we see in the material world is in the spiritual world, but it's pure and it's contaminated here. So everything there is here, but this is like shadow, and there is pure. So
It's
lying, stealing, this all coming from Krishna, but it's pure. Que en el mundo espiritual todo lo que está allá está aquí, pero aquí es como perverted, contaminado, ¿no? Entonces allá la mentira,
Tejaswini, what do you
robar, todo eso viene de allá, pero es puro allá, y aquí es como no, it's
Everything
no
is
puro.
harmonized by sweetness. Krishna's lying, very sweet. Krishna's cheating, more sweet. Everything about him is sweet. Even his killing is sweet. Even he kill anyone, very sweet. His eating is sweet, his walking is sweet, his everything is sweet. His devotees are sweet.
But maybe it's not even lie, because before he said, everyone here is already killed by me. So
Okay, you can tell him now. Tell him.
in Spanish, I speak not.
Yeah, tell him in English first.
In Bhagavad Gita, when Krishna speaks with Arjuna, before the fight, he said, Arjuna, everyone here is already killed by me. You're just an instrument to fulfill this. It's already happened. So when Krishna said that Ashwatthama is dead, it's in some sense is true. Because it's he already decided
Okay,
that
that's
he's
enough.
dead.
If God has to tell the truth always, that means he's controlled by something else. If God always has to tell the truth, that means there's something higher than him. Right? But he's independent. Whether he cheats or... What a strange conversation.
But maybe like incarnation like Ram, very different.
Anyway, some incarnations never cheat, never lie. But only Krishna has independence to cheat and lie. That's why he's special. No other incarnation can act like that. No. But Krishna has full independence. Only he has right for even these activities. But his lying is also good for everyone. Even he lies is always also auspicious. Dronacharya was killing 100,000 men a day. Is that good? Was Dronacharya happy fighting? Did he want to fight? Did anyone want him to fight? He was opposing Krishna's desire to remove the burden of the earth. He was assisting Krishna's desire to remove the burden of the earth. But he's not happy doing all this. So when he was killed, he was also happy. Finished all this. He was not disappointed, not sad. But his son was not happy. Ashwatthama was not happy.
Entonces no es mentira. O sea, entonces no mientes, sino que la verdad que no lo entendemos.
So then it's not a lie, it's just the truth that we cannot comprehend.
God is the absolute truth.
Dios es la verdad absoluta.
Everything about him is true and auspicious.
Todos los dioses es verdadero y auspicioso.
Maybe we understand. That's why Krishna's pastime is so difficult to understand for the mundane moralist. Sí, Lorenzo.
Pero acá en la tierra también no existe nada malo ni bueno, simplemente es la moralidad la que dice que algo es bueno o malo.
Here on earth, there is nothing that is good or bad. It's only morality that dictates it.
We are human beings. We are now, some morality we have to accept. We are controlled. If I kill someone, I have to pay that tax. If I steal from someone, if I kill a mosquito, I have to pay the price. We are not independent. Our every action has a reaction. But Krishna is not like that. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Namat karmani limpani. I am not affected by my actions. We are affected. Therefore, we have no right to act like Krishna. Anyway, hearing again and again, it can understand. Even many great devotees, in the beginning they say, in the beginning I hear Krishna's Leela, I could not adjust. Why should God be a woman hunter? Why should he be alive? But Krishna has so much sweetness that eventually devotee give all up, good and bad, all these things. Even Yudhishthira could not understand all these things, and how high he was. How high he was, even he hesitated. And what are we compared to him? Nothing. So this idea to give up everything for Krishna, this is a very rare type of devotion. Only this type of devotee can enter into Vrindavan. Brajalo kon bhav lanaye bhaje bhav yogya deapan Krishna pai braje. According to your mood that you practice in the time of sadhana, one gets an appropriate spiritual form at the time of perfection. If one wants to serve Krishna like a beloved, then Krishna gives him a spiritual form of a Kishori. If one wants to be the parent of Krishna, one gets salt and pepper, beard and hair, and gets an appropriate form in Goloka Vrindavan as an older man, older woman. Grandmother, you can get a body of a grandmother, great-grandmother. If you want that mood, Krishna gives a spiritual form with no teeth and white hair. Maybe better not translate that. According to your mood, Krishna gives them a spiritual form. In Goloka Vrindavan, there's also old people, but they're eternally old. They have no arthritis and false teeth. This is inconceivable. They have eternal spiritual form like that. Exactly according to their mood, they get an appropriate spiritual form. Tahate Drishtant Upasanit Shrutigan Ragmad Bhaji Poile Brajananandam. The personified Vedas are the example of someone who achieved perfection by following the mood of the gopis. Nabritan Marun Manuk Sik Drid is to notice. Yoga Yogridevan Munaya Upashati Tararopi Yayu Smarana. The personified Vedas pray. The scriptures are also persons. They pray. Why should we desire to merge with Krishna? Even the demons who hate Krishna merge with him. Why should we do so much hard effort spiritually to get the same result? We reject the idea of merging with Krishna. But we want to follow the footsteps of the gopis. Krishna embraced the gopis with his snake-like arms. We also want to taste Krishna following the footsteps of the gopis. Nayam Sukapo Bhagavan Dehinam Gopikas. Anyway, many examples Ramananda Roy gives. Any questions so far? Yes, Mr. Sky.
So you mentioned that one has to renounce pretty much everything in order to attain heaven. So, well,
Time Kingdom of God.
yeah, thinking of, I'm just trying to listen. So he has a personal belief that one can create spiritual abundance while also creating material abundance. Is it possible to have money Or is it compulsory to become full?
Compulsory public. It depends on your platform.
Depende de tu plataforma.
One should act according to his present qualification.
Uno debe actuar de acuerdo a su condición.
Right? If you act below your qualification, it's a fault. If you act too much beyond your qualification, it will be another fault.
Si actúas debajo de tu elegibilidad, tu calificación, es un defecto. Y si actúas por encima de tu elegibilidad, tu calificación, también es un defecto.
Like devotees like Gokashodas Babaji Maharaj.
Los devotos son las voces son las devotas.
When he's hungry, he not even go begging.
Cuando tenía hambre, ni siquiera iba a mendigar.
I waste my time just to fill the stomach.
¿Cómo voy a desperdiciar mi tiempo solo para llenar el estómago?
This body is stool and urine.
Este cuerpo es excelente.
Why I waste 1 second of my time for this body of stool and urine?
¿Por qué gastaría un segundo de mi tiempo para mantener este?
So he not even went begging when he was hungry.
Ni siquiera iba a mendigar cuando tenía hambre.
He takes some dirt and eats it.
Agarraba un poco de fango y se lo comía.
For him, is natural,
Para
easy.
él es algo natural y es simple, fácil.
Not difficult for him to do like
No
that.
es algo difícil para él hacer eso.
Right? If he needed cloth, he just take one off a dead body and wear it.
Si necesitaba ropa fría, se necesitaba un cadáver y se lo ponía.
So if you did like that, how long do you think you'd last?
Si hicieras eso, vos mismo, ¿cuánto tiempo crees que podrías vivir?
After 2 days, 3 days, you'll be dead.
Después de 2 días, morir.
So his level of devotion is completely
Su nivel de devoción
not available for you.
está
Should not be imitated.
no está disponible para nosotros. Así que no debemos imitar.
What he's doing is natural for him.
Lo que él hace es natural
It's
para
not
él.
difficult,
No
natural.
es algo difícil.
Like the 6 Goswamis.
Los seis Goswamis.
Rup Sanatan, Raghunath Bhatt, Gopal Bhatt, Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan. They live under a different tree every night.
Cada noche dormían bajo un árbol distinto.
No hut, no house, nothing.
Ni siquiera una choza,
They just have one blanket.
solo tenían una tela, una cuenca.
They drink water from the river.
Tomaban agua del río.
Sometimes they beg food from the villagers. 1 chapati, 2 chapati, no vegetable, nothing.
Los zapatos que nos enviaron, sin dejar nada.
Guru Maharaj said if we did like that, we would die in 2-3 days. We would die. Mosquitoes would eat us alive. We'd die of malnutrition. We couldn't chant, we couldn't do anything. Yeah? So if we that level of action, that type of action is not for us. Right? So we should act according to my level. Like therefore our Gurudev, all our Gurudev, they built temples, they made rooms, we can have a place to sleep, you get clothes, we can eat, right? And then we can maintain our life and do devotion. Right? So, does that answer your question?
Hare Krishna.
Some people have many material desires. So they will marry, and they need money, they'll have children, they have to do business, this and that. But still they'll practice Hare Krishna. So for them that is good.
Para ellos eso es bueno.
But maybe someone else has no material desire.
Tal vez alguien no tiene
So why will they marry? Why will they have children? No need. If you have no wife and no children, you don't need a job.
Si no tienes esposa y hijos, ¿para qué tienes trabajo?
You put on red cloth.
Ponen su ropa rosada. Also, Maharaj,
Yes, sir.
Did like Yudhisthira Janak Maharaj have material desire? So why didn't they?
To give example,
Maharaj, one time, I don't know if it's appropriate to mention now, but one time you used to also pray for opulence in order to.
anyway, just everything is. There's no need to change too much about your life.
No hay necesidad de hacer las cosas.
Maybe you came a little bit late, but we were not talking about these things the whole 9 days.
En este caso, no estamos hablando de estas cosas todos los días.
In the beginning, we were talking about all type of mixed devotion also.
Al principio estábamos hablando
But you
de
can.
eso.
So, there's one verse spoken by Lord Brahma. We discussed for like a whole day. Right?
Hay un verso de Brahma que mucho
No need to change anything in your life. No need. There's nothing to be gained by making some artificial adjustment in your lifestyle. No need to change anything. But you have to hear. course, if you're running a brothel or working for the narcos, that thing should change. If you're a bank robber, that thing should little change. Maintain one's life in a proper way. So there's nothing to be gained by artificially changing too much. But you have to hear. We should adjust our life in such a way we always get a chance to hear about Krishna. How much you need to maintain your life is probably different from me. If we have less than we need, we become disturbed. And if we have more than we need, we'll also disturb ourselves. Okay? Like some people in this audience, they have Ferraris, they have Porsches. For them, it's normal. Stay like that. And some people, no car, just bare feet. To them, that is normal. That is cool. So it doesn't matter whether one is rich or one's poor. It matters one's absorption in the name of Krishna. Sometimes poor person very materialistic. Sometimes poor person so attached. And sometimes wealthy person very spiritual, very unattached. So we don't give too much importance to this. Poor, rich, married, not married. The main thing is one's absorption in Krishna. Of course, if Narayan asked that question, I would answer differently. Yes, ma'am.
What can you kind of tie this concept, everything you're saying, with lagunas? Because this, like, the actions that we're taking is actually not even our actions, right? Like, this is gunas doing most of these things.
That's another topic. Okay, main thing is you got to chant holy name. Right, Sky? Grihe va vanita take ha goranga boradekis. Then what is it? Nautam amagatarasuna. Whether one is renounced or one is in family life, doesn't matter too much. One should always chant the name. Ha Goranga Bolada. Ha Goranga. Ha Nitai. Ha Goranga. That is main thing. Huh? Another what?
Mantra. This is another one.
Nitai Goranga. Nitai Goranga. Have you heard us chanting that? Nitai Goranga Jaya, Nitai Goranga Jaya, Nitai Goranga Jaya, Nitai Goranga. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, he's the one giving all these teachings. If you want to understand devotion, you need his mercy. Most people, even Hare Krishna is too high for them. This mantra is quite high mantra. But Nitai Goranga, anyone can chant. He's so kind, so merciful. Shall we finish here? Is there anything else? Okay, having a night off last night was a good idea. Okay, we'll go after breakfast. ¿Qué es para el desayuno?
Chilaquiles.
Prasad, yeah.
Oh, okay.
After Prasad, we'd like everyone to come on Harinam. Coming, Chambak? Have time? Because after Prasad, we'll go. Try not to, I know everyone delays and blah, blah, blah. No, so everyone go for the bus and we go and do Harinam.
Yeah.
Because more people are there in daytime than even nighttime. I think everyone goes back to Cancun.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Just maybe help to clean, like very quickly, so we
Quickly
clean the
clean
kitchen
and
so
we'll
we
go
can
on the
have
bus.
lunch prasad to start.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, So Pramanande